Hello there, and welcome to the Impact Zone podcast. Um, as many times as I've said, we don't cover news or we don't dive into the news. Sometimes I feel like we do have to try to cover the news. So today we're covering a bit of news. This has recently been reported. Rich Swan has been suspended from TNA. He was charged with an arrest on June the 8th for disorderly public intoxication. So TNA has suspended him. So that is not great, not good. In many ways, it's actually been quite a while that he's that was quite a while ago. Um, so yeah, I don't know. He's apparently Rich is going into a rehab. Following this, he had one a few years ago, I believe, a couple of years ago. The guy, I know the guy has a very troubled past. He lost his mom and he lost his dad, and he basically has had no family, and wrestling has kind of been his outlet. He's a pretty cool dude, actually, to meet and to talk to, but he's obviously got a lot of demons and a lot of baggage per se. He's got a kid and whatnot and that sort of stuff, but the fame, the fortune, the money, the drugs, everything is kind of there for you as a wrestler, and it's a difficult path to go down and to be in life and whatnot. Just in general, and there's a lot of pressures in being a wrestler, even in this day and age, it's a lot cleaner than what it was, and I will praise TNA for stepping in there and getting hey, let's just get you into rehab, or whatever, and let's just pull the plug for a little while, but you'll be back and we'll see you back, and um I think it's really tough sometimes. I think that he did a few tapings after this, so I don't know. I think that there was perhaps a little bit of a lag in some of that, perhaps there. Yeah, so I don't know, but I think that there perhaps has been something else come up, and there's probably been some negotiations or some like, well, we've got to do something type things, and that sort of thing. But it's sad to see, like I say, I'm not, call out anyone or whatever. There's a lot of contributing factors to this. Like, if many years ago I was heavy into drinking, many years ago now it was, but that was mostly in a party, hardy, lardy sort of style, or whatever you want to call it. I was more of a social drinker, but when I drank, I really did drink because I did have a lot of, or I still do have a lot of my own issues as well and whatnot. So I can sympathize and understand. I understand, Rich has been going through a lot for his whole life, pretty much. He basically lived on the streets for many, many years, and whatnot. He's a living embodiment of chasing your dreams and whatnot. So good luck to him. I hope we talk about this with Jeff Hardy and things like that. Jeff's gotten, I don't know how many chances after how many DUIs and whatever else that he's had, possessions and whatnot. So, and it's tough. It's tough out there, like, and I don't know the details of this, and it's just you've got to sympathize with this guy, but you've got to say, well, we need to find something, and usually that's the wrestling, hopefully, that fills that gap, or something that sort of helps with that, because your life is like, even if you have that wrestling life, you need somebody else there, and he has his wife and he has his kid there, and I get that this is again, perhaps not exactly the right time or whatever, but to just say, hey, let's just slow down a little bit, or like, let's just take things as they are, and not too much. Actually, isn't he booked to have a match at Emergence? I think he was booked to have a match at Emergence, so that puts that match right out. Or if he's having that match, then he's probably not winning, obviously. So yeah, it's going to put that into things, and it's just not a good look for yourself or for the company when this sort of stuff happens. But as I said, I do praise them for saying, hey, let's just you know cut ties for now, or whatever, in terms of dates, in terms of this sort of stuff. We don't expect you to have to be in the ring, or do anything or whatnot, and that sort of stuff. But this really hurts our plans of what we were going to do with you. It hurts your position in the company. It hurts, you getting work in the future and whatnot. I'm sure that they, are disappointed and whatnot in that regard. But again, hey, it is what it is, and things keep on going, and you can't just, oh, well, we're not going to hire him back or whatever. But you've got to say, hey, we need to, make sure you're clean, and we know it's hard, and we know it's tough, and we know you're going through a lot and whatnot. But, perhaps, and even though wrestling is filling that void, perhaps you need to, fill that void with the people that you do have, your wife and your kid and whatnot, and maybe slow down a little bit and just take them, as the top priority. And, it's, again, the wrestling perhaps is the thing that is funding that and whatnot to an extent, so it's tough, to sort of say no to gigs and whatnot and this sort of thing. And as I said, I don't know all the details, obviously, and I don't think that all the details have come out yet and whatnot. So I don't want to go too deep into discussing this. I think it's a bit of a bad situation all around in many ways, but it is what it is. And I hope the best for Rich, as I sort of was saying. I just don't know what else to sort of say. It's yeah, it's really hard to figure this stuff out, especially when he's been featured on TV the last few years and whatnot, but the last few weeks and whatnot. So along with his buddy there, AJ Francis. Yeah, it does put a lot of stuff into the, well, we've put this this program together, and whatnot. And this is the thing, people say, oh, well, he wasn't doing anything, but that's the thing, like, sometimes, you're not doing a thing. You've got to wait for your opportunities. Sometimes, that's the thing, and it sucks sometimes. That's how it is. But, you've got to understand that this is the way that wrestling is a lot of the time. You don't get a lot of opportunities every single week, and that sucks. And even when you're contracted, but again, you still get that guarantee of being in there and doing things. So yeah, all guys, everyone, I hope that whoever's looking around and thinking about this or talking about this understands that, and sends their best wishes to Rich in a speedy recovery or rehab. So and get back to real life, like get back to his. I don't know if he has a son or a daughter. I'm not too sure, but whatever. Um, that is what it is, and yeah, get back to that and again, maybe he needs he needs somebody there that's not like his buddy that's gonna be saying, let's go out for drinks, let's go out and do this. Needs somebody to be a bit more moderator-ish and say, hey, yes, we can have a drink or two or something or whatnot, but we need to. And perhaps it is a bit of an issue over there in the US that perhaps some people don't want to really touch on, that it is more race-related, with the cops being a bit heavy-handed, perhaps. I don't know. So, I don't know. But he still has to go through the procedures ahead of him, so he can't really do much more than that and do his best with it. And yeah, I think we all need to just hope for the best with the situation. I think like unfortunately, in some ways, Jeff Hardy's a good role model for this. In some ways, of people can get second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and whatever number of chances there is. So I think Rich can get those chances, and I hope for the best for him. And I hate to sort of put out this not negative, but this sort of not so good sort of style of stuff, because the main reason I wanted to discuss, well, I don't really want to discuss this, but main reason I need to sort of discuss this is saying that he was slated for a match at Emergence, and there is some build to it that has already been taped. So there might be a mystery opponent, competitor in that match. They might pull something out of the woodwork. So I don't know. That'd be kind of cool if they kind of, did something like that. But the thing is, like, Francis knows his role, which is to be the big man and come in and do the big, game ending stuff at the, sort of end of the match. He's not the guy that really puts in a lot of work. He can put in a bit of work, certainly. He can certainly go in the ring and do his bit. But for the most part, when he's a tag team wrestler, he sort of lays it back and lets Rich do most of the work, which is, what Rich's role kind of is. Don't want to outshine anyone in some senses as well. But again, he knows his role. So he needs somebody, if he's going to have somebody, to, carry that role if, they're going to keep going ahead with this, or do something else, go in a slightly different direction or whatever, for a little while, just until Rich comes back or whatever it is. We might not be seeing him come back. We don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But again, there is a build to Emergence with this on the line, and a match at Emergence on the line. So I'm assuming now that the Emergence match is like, I don't think the outcome was going to be maybe any different, but I did think that First Class was kind of on a bit of a roll in some senses, and they were kind of almost prepping them for a tag title run or something similar. So I don't know. It's really tough to say, but this has actually helped them in some ways, because it was like way too soon for them to win the titles, and way too soon for the ABC to lose the titles and whatnot. I haven't seen any reports on how long this will be. It takes as long as it takes, so hey, it is what it is. But despite the less than positive message of, or the connotations of this sort of thing going on here with this, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and have the desire to see Richie come back and hopefully be well again and live his best life. And that's what's most important, I think. And not this episode, but yeah, if you guys have enjoyed me covering this little tidbit that we need to keep our eyes and ears on and whatnot going forward and whatnot, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. so that you're up to date with what's going on in the Epic Zone. And I hope you guys will join me again in another one.